That's 1 PG. That's 2 PG. No! That's it! Overlord! Swings for game. Feels good, feels good. Oh, the heal! That's not nice. Hey yo, how's it going everyone? Entropy here today with another video. Today we're going to be doing a deck profile on Overlord Rebirth, the new supported archetype for Overlord the clan. Overlord is reborn, this time with the power of reverse. So I guess without further ado, let's get straight into the deck profile. Honestly, if you are a familiar Kagero player, or if you've played Kagero players on ladder in the last few months, which you should have because it's still a very strong deck, the deck is roughly the same. They kind of do the same thing, of course, but now with more Overlords and less Novels. Personally, which one do I prefer? I think that's like half the people. Like that's the reason half the people are watching this video right now is probably like, well, you know, in the poll you said this is a meta deck, right? How will this compare with Novel? Well, honestly, this deck is probably not as good as Novel. Novel just has more going for it, but this doesn't mean that this isn't a great deck as well, right? I think that, you know, we are comparing which one's better, but like, you're not just comparing two decks in one clan. That's not the only thing that's played in ladder. You have a lot of different matchups, and I think that this deck, Overlord, actually excels in some matchups that Novel may fall a little bit short on. So I'll kind of explain, I guess, the key parts of this deck, because you should know most of this stuff. Conroe, you should know. PGs, you should know. We're playing 4 of the new PGs, not mixing and matching. You can choose to do that, but generally speaking, your winning image, you do want to break ride. We do play 4 break rides. You can play 5, you can play more than that. So because I do want to see the break ride, I do want to play the new PG. I do want to proc that. You know, half the grade 3 lineup here wants LB4. Of course, will you be proccing most of those skills? Maybe not, but having that option is always nice. Next we have, you know, we have your Gojos, of course, we have your Kersey. I think this is pretty standard. Eternal Bringer Griffin. Now this card is going to be great, you know, if you're moving into Legion, you consider playing Kagero and Legion, you should have this card. Of course, Gojos you should have as well. This card lets you discard a grade 3 to add a Draconic Overlord from your deck to your hand. Now, we know that now there are 2 different types of Draconic Overlords. There's the Break Ride one, which is still called just Draconic Overlord, and there's the original Draconic Overlord. You can mix and match which one you want. At first I was playing with a 4 Break Ride variant. Again, I think one of the best parts about Kagero is your fluidity. You have so much control over your opponent's board, obviously, but your own deck and your options as well, you know. With Conroe, you can search for whichever PG or whichever grade 1 you want. With Eternal Bringer, you can search into whichever Draconic Overlord you want. In some matchups, you do want the OG one, which is why I take it as 1. I think it's fine. Most of the time, you want the Break Ride, but that's okay. You know, the OG one still has its place, and you can always search for it if you need to. Next, the grade 2 lineup is basically the same. Striking gives you the crit. Striking DN is still a great play. Belkosti is still a really good card. Countercharge 1 on hit. Counterblast is expensive. Countercharge is nice. Berserk Dragon I'm playing at 2. Honestly, I'd play it at 1 and Belkosti at 4 if I had it. But 2 is fine. 2 is fine. And the reason why I'd rather play it at 1 is because Draconic Burnout is a really consistent retire. On place, Counterblast 1, remove an Overlord from your drop zone to retire one of your opponent's rear guards. Now, Novel also has a similar one. Novel Critic. No, Novel Roman? Novel Critic is the grade 2, yes. Novel Roman is the grade 1. Novel Critic requires you to have Novel Vag in your hand, right? The grade 4. This one just says remove an Overlord from drop zone. Which one is better? I honestly think Draconic Burnout is better. The reason why is because in most of the lists you see Novel Vag is a heal trigger. On turn 2, well, turn 2, I'm comfortable having it in my hand because I can always Conroe into Novel Roman to return the Novel Vag on turn 2, but maybe I'd rather Conroe for a PG instead of a Novel Roman. Maybe I don't want to mulligan hard into it. Maybe I draw into Novel Critic later down the line, and it does require me to keep a heal on my hand. I don't really like that kind of approach to the game. Which is why I do think Dragonic Burnout's better. Dragon Burnout does require an Overlord in your drop zone, but look at your grade 3 list, you're playing practically all Overlords. In addition, if you trigger check it, it's in the drop zone, so that's really easy. Just sack hard, just be like Kai. You also have Eternal Bringer to actually help you discard grade 3s to actually fetch the Break Ride or OG Overlord you want. You can always Gojo and you can always Kersey the grade 3s as well if you need to search for other pieces. So there's actually a lot of ways to actually pull off Dragonic Burnout really early. Gojo turn 1, drop an Overlord, boom, you have your Dragonic Burnout online, right? So I definitely think that there's a lot of ways to use it. It's much more flexible and it doesn't restrict your plays as much as the Novel grade 2. So that's my 2 cents. Grade 3s, we're playing 3 Break Rides, 1 OG. We all know what the OG does. The Break Ride says when you Break Ride, get +10. If it's an Overlord, it gets the following ability. When this unit attack hits a rearguard, +1, discard a card from your hand to withstand this and draw 2 cards. The limitation is that you have to play Overlord, but that's okay. We play 12 Overlords again. The pro is that, well, it's only discard 1 and you get to draw 2. So it feels better than discarding 2 and drawing 2 with DDD, Dauntless, right? It also provides you with the cross-ride number to hit over cross-ride numbers that are going to be, is increasingly popular-ish near the end of the era, you know, whether that's Zenith or Drag Ruler Phantom. I'm sure you've seen these decks floating around in the meta, and of course the end and the mirror matches itself. So, and of course Novel. And so yeah, like honestly, 13k bodies are starting to become prevalent again, so hitting those crossride numbers are starting to get important again. And then during your turn, if you have more rearguards than your opponent, it gets +3, so that's important. It hits 14 by itself when you have more rearguards and units. Of course, we're still playing 1 DDD, still a really good card. Of course, with the buff, it feels really, really good. Which one is better? Honestly, again, what Overlord gives you is flexibility with your plays. You have to hit rearguards anyways in this game, in 0. So, you know, Vanguard swing to intercept isn't that bad, as long as your other columns can actually scale up. And I think that discarding 1 instead of discarding 2, even though Dauntless got buffed already to discard 2 instead of discard 3, discarding 1 is a much easier, much cheaper cost. And sometimes when you have multiple PGs, you know, when you're doing the Dauntless plays, you do need to discard them and risk it sometimes. But with Overlord, you're pretty safe. You know, you can just discard 1, generally speaking, and it's more comfortable to me to use. And of course, we play for the ends. It's just really good. It's how you actually generate card advantage. Like you actually draw. No other cards actually let you plus, I guess, except for Overlord and the end. You know, that lets you discard 1 to draw 2, right? This card does the same thing. Discard 1 to draw 2, and then Rebirth. This is kind of like the this is kind of like the awkward child, because everyone expected it to get a buff, but it didn't. And then everyone expected it to be bad, and I can't say it's not. I can't say it's bad. Honestly, I can't say it's bad, because, you know, at the end of battle, this unit attack. Limber Break 4, lock all your rearguards until you have 5 locked cards. It gets +10, and then the following ability: once per turn, at the end of battle, this unit attacked. Discard a card from your hand to stand and draw 2. So again, it's -1 +2, and then it also gets +10, so it can actually hit over numbers. But it does require 5 bodies, which is really hard because, again, you don't really plus that much. But yeah, so I'm going to explain the plays and how you can set that up better, maybe. And then second skill is Vanguard. When this unit hits a rearguard, countermass 2, discard an Overlord to retire 1 of your opponent's rearguards. So this way, if your opponent has 2 intercepts, you can hit. You can use a Break Ride skill to restand. You can use the second skill to actually retire the other intercept. And then your Rebirth can go face twice, which is quite nice. So yeah. So this is the list. One of the things that I like to do is actually I enjoy playing out my grade 3s early to mid game, right? Starting from my turn 3 turn, I want to be calling out grade 3s when I can, having the boosters, you know, generally Gojo maybe, and this way, you know, if they hit into it, like if they hit into an OG Overlord, for example, I probably keep the OG Overlord in my hand. If I call an extra Dragonic Overlord, then, you know, that gives me an extra Dragonic Burnout option. If I do see a lot of grade 3s, I can always Gojo. Calling out Gojo's never hurts because every single turn I have an option to use it. And I think the most important thing is just manage your resources wisely. If your opponent's a bad player and just ignores your grade 3s and goes face, then you get a really nice Break Ride Rebirth turn. And generally speaking, you can draw so many cards in, and it feels pretty refreshing like that too. So that is basically the list. Let me know if you have any questions down below, but I guess without further ado, let's get straight into a game and see how this deck performs on ladder, or on practice, yes. So of course, Kagero has a lot of skins. Because we are playing Rebirth, I feel like it's only right to use the reverse Kai skin. Hopefully everyone's doing well on ladder as well. I think today we are nearing the end of the World Invasion campaign, so hopefully everyone contributes, play your reverse clans, play your rebirths and whatnot. Glandios is really fun as well. If you haven't checked that out, checked out that video, go check that out. It's pretty good. But yeah, let's see what our first match is going to be against. We're going to be playing against Golds, which is really popular. This is one of the matchups I feel like this deck performs maybe better than Novel, because Novel has a lot of retire, sure. This deck hits into your rearguards a lot, right? Break Ride tells you to hit into them, Rebirth tells you to hit into them, the end lets you hit into them, OG Overlord hits into them. So, you know, a lot of decks are playing 3 Garmor, 4 Garmor, which I think you should be playing 4 Garmor, honestly. You know, Rebirth can play around it better than Novel, because Novel can't retire it. You have to, if you ride into Novel, then I guess you might DDD into rearguard and just restand, or maybe you have to call out your OG Overlord and you're in a more stickier, rougher situation. That's just my opinion, I guess. But I do think that being able to return triggers is one of the big advantages of Novel. But at the same time, you are limited, at least in this current era, right? If you're a JB player, it's a different story. If you are playing Novel, you know, you can only kind of return stuff before your turn 3. So the window of opportunity is not that big as well. And I think that Eternal Griffin, even though you're removing a trigger to add a trigger, you get to pick the one you want, and you actually get to set up for other retire pieces. So I think it's actually it's not as good, but it's still fine, is what I'll say. So we're gonna use the Eternal Bringer, search the Break Ride, and we're gonna play more aggressively. We're just gonna ping for 12, 7 and 12. And of course, our main ride target, honestly, if we're going first, is Gojo. If we're going second, it doesn't really matter. I guess I'd rather keep the Gojo for later. Keep the Eternal Bringer, you know, in your hand if you do want to choose to, you know, exchange for grade 3 for the Break Ride. They're probably gonna kill the Conroe, that's fine. They already have a PG in their hand. And for the grade 2, generally, of course, Striking is a really good ride, so do want that. If not, Velocity, just ride that and then use Conroe countercharge on hit is also really solid. So let's just go for the Strike-In. We did draw into the heal, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. And we do have the retire. That's pretty good. Let's retire that. Retiring the Blaster Blade does give them the option to use Trumpeter, but Trumpeter is a bit of RNG, and also, well, we have to hit over that Blaster Blade anyways, so we can't really play around that one, right? Unless you're playing like Desert Gunners or like Bugs, I guess, but even then it's really an efficient play, so. We see the Ganslot. This is the ideal first ride, honestly. Alfred is an interesting pick, but it works at rearguard, so it's really uncommon to see Alfred, honestly, like not Fridge Alfred, but. And crit as well, okay, that's interesting. But we all hate those games where they just randomly pull out that crit, right? Heal trigger really good. We heal 1-1. Use that Wingle. So we're gonna actually leave that grade 3. I think we can leave it hanging. If we attack into it, that's fine, but you know, that's one less defensive option they have. It means that we don't have to rely on the Counterblast skill to actually get rid of another intercept if they don't call an intercept in that column down the line. So here, I think I don't even mind just Counterblast 2 retiring and just going face. And I'm just gonna commit. So this way, we can guarantee that we push to 5. Yeah, alright. That's a weird deck our opponent has. If we had a draw trigger, that'd feel really good, but we didn't. That's fine. That's fine. Alright. No heals on our opponent's end. Feels good, man. So what are they gonna do? If they break Ryan, they'll get another Blaster Blade Liberator. They don't have a lot of retire options. I don't even mind them retiring anything on our board right now. If they do retire at least one unit, it means it's gonna be rough to actually pull off Rebirth, but we can still use the Break Ride skill, right? Like, Rebirth is a nice, it's icing on the cake, right? It's nice to have, but is it necessary? Not really, but it does present some interesting plays, but it is hard to pull off, I have to admit that. So here, they're using the Balance. Honestly, I would have called it here, call it the Blaster Blade Liberator that we know here. Gives them the counter charge, gives them the retire. 16 is going to hit anyways, but I guess they don't want to retire, which actually gives us a window of opportunity to use the Rebirth. But I guess they want to set up that that booster to actually help them guarantee to pass and deal the 5th damage, and that's fine. Of course, if they hit a grade 1, then it's not that guaranteed, but there you go, that straight crit is going to push us to 5. What are we going to do here? We're going to hit the draw. Alright. Can I show you the Rebirth? Ooh, Overlord, the end. Both are cross rides. Let's do Rebirth. Let's do Rebirth. I can even discard 1, draw 1 to see if I draw into a grade 2, which would make me more comfortable with my defensive turn. There we go, that's nice, that's nice. I can even retire. Do I think it's necessary to retire? Okay, sure. Honestly, the safer play would be to just retire the Blaster Blade and just punch face. But they have Zenith and they can multi-attack, so they can actually hit through my intercept, and PG. So I think this is ooh, we hit the draw trigger into heal. I'd rather heal, but it is what it is. So remember, this turn we started with 1 card, so count the number of cards we have. Use the Break Ride first, please. Please use the Break Ride first. We're gonna discard this. Don't have the Counter Blast. Don't really want to retire. Don't really need to retire the other rearguard anyways. So look at that. You know, that's another draw trigger. That's it. We don't even get to use reverse skill. So we locked 5 for nothing. For nothing. There we go. That's GGWP. Alright, let's go to game 2. Let's keep this up. Ooh, I like the VP. We hit the 100 gems. Solid. I really need more gems after spending so much for the overdress banner. Thank you guys. But yeah, I mean, again, the setup seems really daunting on paper. But you can see that because you only need to discard 1, and of course you should be playing 9 draws, and you have so many ways to just apply pressure. It's not great. It's not good. You know, we'll get the great later, but it is Overlord, so you just gotta play. You just gotta play like an Overlord. Just gotta another gold player. Let's see how we perform against this one. So many golds, man. Everyone, try contributing. Try contributing. Dante, alright, do we discard and draw? We have a burnout. I kind of want to, but we don't have any other grade 3s. Alright, let's just hold our horses. Let's just, I mean, retiring the Wingle is, alright, let's just hold our horses. Let's just wait. I don't want to be grade stuck. Next turn I can still bulk costly, Conroe, counter charge. That's also a great play. Bruno, let's see where they put the Wingo. If they put it behind the Vanguard, they'll pull it off anyway. So yeah, like Gojoing right now without a second grade 3 is a bit risky. I know retiring the Wingo is great, but they can always just sneak it out. Turn 1. Another crit variant. I don't even know why this is a thing. Please don't do this at home. You know those TV shows that say that? Yeah. Don't do that, please. Alright, we're gonna Belcosity. That's fine. Belcosity. We're gonna PG. And yeah, if you see that your metagame, like you see like well, for this video, 100% of our matches are against stray critters. Consider playing like one OPG just to avoid getting sacked hard. Yeah, it never hurts. It's just 1 out of 4 PGs, and you can always search for that old PG with your Conro. It's not like they have a name associated with it yet. So yeah. Meron, alright, another interesting variant, hitting 19k, really aggressive deck, I guess. It's just like a fridge meme deck. It's a big crit fridge. Alright, we're gonna push to 4. Super early this game. No defensives at all. We're not seeing any triggers at all. There we go, that's 1 trigger. Not the one we want. Especially not in our hand. Alright, let's ride Draconic Overlord. Alright, let's it's 14 on attack. It's fine. Let's retire the back row. Let's make them give them a harder time. Slightly harder time. Guarantee that counter charge. And then swing. Let's draw. I like that. So we're 4-3. We have 2 intercepts. We have 2 PGs. We should be okay. They showed 1 PG in the damage, which is nice. But don't know what their trigger lineup is just yet. So it's Fridge. Fridge, our boy. Another Alfred? Is this like a thing now? Am I living under a rock? Don't think you should be playing this card. You know, play Garmor, bro. Play Garmor. Garmor's so good in this meta. You know, it's gonna be so good in Legion. Pick up your Garmors. You know, especially in the mirror match, or the Kagro matchup, Shadow Paladins. I think these are the main decks to play around these days. So, yeah. Garmor, good. No heals at all. A bit rough. We can't even pull off Dragonic Burnout because the trigger we checked was Dauntless. The 1 of 13 triggers that doesn't have the Overlord name. Meron on place. Check a grade 3 or greater to their hand, which is great. 1 less trigger to worry about. Alright, there's the Garmor. Alright, let's see. Overlord into Overlord or Overlord into the end. I think the end is probably better here. The end is fine. Alright, guns out for Overlord. Guns out for Overlord. I think we're gonna call both just for the sake of having intercepts on the board. I'm just gonna attack into this one. I have to attack rearguard, which is unfortunate. Heal is good. Finally seeing an active trigger. Discarding 1. Sets up future burnout, so please draw into 1 maybe? No? Okay. 15. 23. Draw trigger into the end? That's the end? That's not the end. Close enough prediction. Close enough prediction. That's the Rebirth Rider, Holy Shine Dragon. Have a meme deck with it. Honestly, Rebirth Riding is great, but you know, generally speaking, you don't need it. You don't need it. Alright, let's see what they're gonna do. Are they gonna fridge us? But it's okay, we have 2 PGs and we have a 3rd one. That just just got drawn. So we can draw this game. So they're gonna Monarch. They're gonna help us. Check top 5 and add another grade 3 to their hand. Wow, what a great card. Helping them thin out their triggers for us. Very nice. So yeah, generally speaking, if you are trying to fridge and you're trying to, like, you know, pressure and damage deny or whatever, have a Blaster Blade, call it out, and then guarantee that extra crit. It's better than RNGing it. Alright. So I don't like this card because you need to place it from deck. And before turn 3, it's hard to kind of pull that off. And, you know, it's mandatory if you see one, I think. So it's a bit rough. Yeah, generally speaking, when you see this, you already have grade 3s, so you don't really want to see this. I guess Spam Break Ride's build might want this, but not for me, I'd say. Ride skip, we're just going to Overlord. OG our way through this. We're going to try Overlord and try to win this turn. So they've showed 1 PG. We can push for 3 PG this turn. We're just going to call it the PG because, you know, if we don't kill this turn, we're going to die anyway. So let's do this. It was great. You know, we got to showcase every single Overlord this video. The end swings first. Oh, heal, I like. You know, it doesn't matter because we've called out the PG. But that's 1 PG. That's 2 PG. No! That's it! Overlord! Swings for game. Feels good, feels good. Oh, the heal! That's not nice, but it's okay. See, we assume that there's a chance that there's a heal. So that's why we have the booster. Of course, we sacked ourselves, so it's fine. But Overlord swings for the 2nd time. And this is game. This is good. This is game. So yeah. This is the power of Overlord. Aggro is always going to be a really great clan. You know, there's a lot of evergreen, always going to be solid cards. You can see that if you go back like a year ago and check out like a Kagro list, you will see that a lot of cards from a year ago are still being played today. So honestly, you know, if you rolled this set for some Overlord stuff, you know that Rebirth is gonna be a wrapped reward. You have some old stuff flying around anyways. This could be the deck for you. I think that this could be arguably harder to pilot than Novel. Because you have more options. But, of course, any deck, when you play it well, it can perform well. Of course, those 2 golds that we just faced back to back, we're playing janky stuff, but overall, you know, approach it similarly. This deck, I think, does perform better against the gold matchup, just from my own experience, and I think, you know, it's quite underrated. It's quite underrated, and I definitely think that you would enjoy it if you could give it a shot. So yeah, let me know down below how you feel about the deck. You know, did you enjoy this deck? Did you enjoy this video? Like the video if you did, subscribe if you haven't already and want to see more. And again, of course, if you have any questions or if you have any thoughts, let me know down below. Love to chat with you guys, and stay cool, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.